Now you can either accept that, or you can get to work.
This will come as quite a shock to my crewmates and to NASA.
What could a sequel do differently? The Martian certainly has more story potential, but one thing we're hoping for is more accuracy with Mars' gravity. In the movie, Mars is portrayed as a barren wasteland, lacking vegetation, water, and oxygen, but it conveniently has the same gravity as Earth. In reality, Mars' gravity is 62% weaker than Earth's, so Watney should have been bouncing around throughout the film. That being said, there are whispers about a prequel in the works, which would explore the story before Watney's journey. On the other hand, there are also rumors that The Martian 2 might continue with a new cast member. Here's everything we know so far about The Martian sequel and other updates. Before we dive into The Martian 2, where rumors suggest we could see some new cast members or even a prequel exploring the story before Watney's journey, let's take a step back and discuss something interesting about the first movie, the alternate ending. As beautiful as the alternate ending for The Martian might seem, it could have changed the entire vibe of the film in ways that might have ruined its impact. Based on Andy Weir's best-selling book, The Martian hit theaters in 2015, and it was a massive success both critically and commercially. While some, like Neil deGrasse Tyson, criticized the film for its scientific accuracy, it was widely praised for its powerful themes of survival and human resilience. The way the film portrayed space exploration and humanity's scientific progress was engaging and memorable. However, there was one major change in the movie's narrative, a deleted ending that could have shifted the tone of the entire story. In the theatrical ending, Matt Damon's character Mark Watney becomes a survival instructor for astronaut candidates. He shares his own experiences on Mars, explaining how astronauts will face huge challenges, but they need to be ready to tackle them head-on. This ending felt fitting, as it subtly encapsulated the film's theme of perseverance and teamwork without getting too heavy-handed. Now, the alternate ending was quite different. In it, Mark gives a long monologue about survival and humanity's instinct to come together to help someone in need. He reflects on how hard it is to comprehend the fact that so many people work together, spending hundreds of millions of dollars to bring him back to Earth. As beautiful as the scene is, it comes off as a bit preachy. It almost feels like the film is hammering the message of human empathy and survival a little too hard, which can be a turnoff for some viewers. The movie, up until that point, had done a great job showing how human nature can bring people together in tough situations, but this alternate ending goes a step further and spells it all out. It's a prime example of the classic storytelling rule, show, don't tell. While the imagery of the scene, with Mark looking at Earth from space and reminiscing about his time on Mars, is stunning, the monologue feels out of place. The film's strength lies in its ability to make its message clear through the actions and experiences of its characters, rather than explaining things outright. The alternate ending, with its excess of exposition, risks undoing that subtle storytelling. On the other hand, the theatrical ending is more fitting for the film's tone. It quietly highlights how Mark's journey in space helped him realize the importance of collaboration and humanity's capacity to come together during crises, without explicitly spelling it out for the audience. It allows viewers to reflect on the movie's themes without feeling like they're being lectured. The alternate ending might still have worked, but the original one left a stronger, more lasting impression. It delivered the film's message in a more natural, understated way. As we look toward the potential future of The Martian, there's plenty of speculation around what direction the franchise could take. One of the biggest questions is whether a sequel could continue the story of Mark Watney, or if the next installment might take a different approach entirely. Regarding the sequel, it could pick up where the first film left off. After Watney's dramatic rescue, the focus could shift to his return to Earth and his role in preparing for the next mission to Mars, now that NASA has the technology to make Mars travel a regular occurrence. This sequel could explore what happens after Watney's accident, what changes NASA makes to prevent something similar from happening again, and how they move forward with their Mars colonization plans. A story about Watney's long-term recovery, both physical and mental, would give a new dimension to the character and show the emotional consequences of his harrowing experience. Additionally, the sequel could also introduce new characters who play pivotal roles in the next mission, perhaps a new crew of astronauts who will take the next giant leap for humanity. These new characters could be portrayed by Jessica Chastain, who already appeared in Interstellar as a space explorer, or Oscar Isaac, another Star Wars alum who could bring the gravitas needed to complement the survival themes of the original film. They could be tasked with creating the first permanent colony on Mars and could face challenges like extreme isolation, resource scarcity, and the need to work together as a team under intense pressure. While the sequel could focus on Watney's role as a survival instructor, a more exciting direction might involve him leading a mission to Mars in some capacity, acting as a mentor to the new crew. This would allow the story to dig deeper into the realities of space travel, the psychological toll it takes, and the delicate balance between survival and human nature. Additionally, a new cast member or two could be introduced, such as a scientist with new groundbreaking research on how to make Mars habitable, or a rival astronaut with different ideas on how to tackle the Mars mission. With the groundwork laid by the first film, the sequel would have a strong foundation to explore humanity's next steps in space. In terms of the story for a Martian prequel, a strong narrative could focus on the early days of NASA's Mars exploration program. We could dive into the planning of the mission that ultimately leads to Watney's accident, showing the complex political and scientific decisions that go into putting humans on Mars. This could give viewers more context on the risks involved and the people behind the scenes, such as the engineers working to make Mars colonization a reality and the astronauts who have to prepare for a journey that could take years. The story could explore the technical challenges, from developing spacecraft capable of safely landing on Mars to building habitats that could withstand the harsh conditions. It could also highlight the human element, how the astronauts, and particularly the leadership at NASA, deal with the pressure of putting people on a distant planet. We could see internal struggles between NASA's ambitious goals and the political and financial constraints they face. The prequel could also focus on the dynamics within the astronaut crew and how they form bonds, face isolation, and deal with the psychological toll of such an intense mission. When it comes to casting for a potential Martian prequel, there are a number of talented actors who could fit well in the roles of the astronauts, scientists, and mission control staff that would bring the story to life. For instance, someone like Tom Hardy could be a great choice to play a grizzled astronaut who is a veteran of space missions but must navigate the immense challenges of Mars. He's proven his ability to handle physically demanding roles, like in The Revenant and Mad Max Fury Road, and could bring depth to a character facing both the psychological and physical hurdles of surviving on Mars. Another possibility might be John Boyega, whose star has risen thanks to his breakout role in the Star Wars sequel trilogy. Boyega would bring a fresh and dynamic energy to the story, playing a younger astronaut with a lot of passion, but perhaps a few insecurities to work through. And that's that for today's video. Thanks for watching, and we will see you in the next one. Your suggestions for future videos are always welcome in the comments below.